on, baby YouTube? It is your boy Uncle Luger here, and it's Thursday, so you know that means we're doing another action figure unboxing. And you may notice I'm wearing something interesting here, a campaign pin. Now, for you young cats, these pins right here, back in the day, politicians, they would put out these pins, and you wear them to show your support. Back before any internet, that's how they did it in the 80s. But back in the early 90s, the WWF had a problem. Hulk Hogan was leaving the company. They needed an all-American good guy that could carry the company. And so what they did is they had a new character that they called the Narcissist. He was a bodybuilder, he was a bad guy, and they were like, you know what, this guy is big, blonde, and muscular. He is going to be our new hero. So they took him off TV, and they brought him back under a new name, Lex Luger, the name that he used in WCW. And now you would think, okay, you want to get this good guy popular. You want to show how strong he is. So what you're going to do is you're going to have them go after all the bad guys one after one after one. Well, no, what they did was they made a bunch of these campaign pins. And they invested in a big red, white, and blue bus with TVs, telephones, and they sent this bus all around the country with Lex Luger on it. Now, I've heard that he was not actually on it, that he would just fly to the locations. I'm not sure, but he would do meet and greets, and he wouldn't wrestle. He just spent months kind of just going around the country on his Lex Express, handing out buttons and doing autographs. And you would think that what they would want to do with their new big good guy was put the championship on him, but no, they decided that what they had was good enough, and Hulk Hogan decided that he wanted to come back. So they had Lex lose, and yeah, Hulk Hogan came back, and Lex pulled an interesting stunt a little while after. His contract lapsed. WWE didn't realize because contracts were different back then. And he showed up on the first episode of Monday Nitro from WCW while WWE thought he was under contract, but his contract had lapsed. So that was the first shot in what was known in the Monday Night Wars. And I have talked enough. And this action figure was from a little time later in his WCW tenure. You know, this is the NWO. He has, I believe this is the NWO Wolfpack with the red and black. This is back when the faction got really big and bloated toward the end of WCW. But yes, Lex Luger went from Lex Luger in WCW to the Narcissist in WWF to the American Hero, shaking hands, kissing babies, and handing out these pins. And to WCW, back to WCW, and became part of the NWO. So let's get into this. You know how I do it. I have my 3A criteria. That is appearance, articulation, and accessory. That's how I judge these action figures. First, let's talk about the box here. This is a Mattel Monday Night Wars Edition Elite action figure. And it comes with a Build-A-Figure of Big Bubba, aka the Big Boss Man. And so if you buy the whole line here, which includes Booker T as possibly his worst gimmick, G.I. Bro. Yes, in WCW, after he lost the right to the T in his name, it was a crazy time. He was G.I. Bro for like a week or something. I don't like to think about G.I. Bro. The same with Batu. You may know this man as Rikishi, but after dropping the gimmick of the Sultan, they wanted to repackage him, so he became Make a Difference Batu. Kind of a vague hip-hop, like, street philosopher thing, and that lasted about as long as G.I. Bro. Thank goodness. And then also on this line, we have The Rock. Fatu's cousin, I believe, or maybe his nephew. They're related somehow, some way, part of the Samoan dynasty. So that's who you have in this line, and you get G.I. Bro, Lex Luger, Fatu, The Rock, and you can get a Big Bubba Build-A-Figure in his NWO gear. At first I was thinking, you know what, I might pass on this, but just for the heck of it, I might have to see if I can track down G.I. Bro, Fatu, and The Rock and get me a Big Bubba. They were terrible gimmicks, but they captured a time in wrestling that is nostalgic for me, so I may break down and hunt those guys down. On the back here, it has, he's from Chicago, Illinois, 6'6", 275 pounds. Finisher is the Torture Rack. Career highlights, he was a WCW World Champion, WCW United States Champion, and the WCW Tag Team Champion. Then it has, let's see, Nitro, August 10th, 1998. The total package celebrated the NWO Wolfpack after he defeated Bret the Hitman Hart for the United States Championship. So this was from right after he beat the Hitman Hart. Interesting, there's no United States Championship that I'm seeing here. That would have been a nice accessory. If that's not in here, we're going to deduct points. You can't bring it up. You can't tease it and then not fulfill it. So let's get into it. I am not a Mets on-card collector, so we're just going to tear up this box and get to figure out this is a good size figure here. I like the balance on it. Okay, we got that out of here. And then let's see here. And these look like, let's see, part of the Build-A-Figure. And these are definitely the legs and feet of Big Bubba Rogers here. We're going to set that aside. And yeah, no U.S. title. So that is automatically going to start at a B grade for the accessories. So let's talk about the appearance. First off, we got to talk about the Too Sweet hand gesture of the NWO. We got the hands right here. That's a very cool look, very iconic. And then, yeah, he has the ponytail, the blonde hair. The hair detail is magnificent. The way that the strands are individually sculpted and painted back into the ponytail. You can see how the hair folds over here. Very cool stuff. And as far as the build goes, he was a bodybuilder, you know, former professional football player, big muscles, striations. He was on, let's call them supplements at the time. So he had a grandiose figure from his supplements. So they really capture the look here. And one of my favorite things in action figures that I love is textures. A lot of times when you have like the, you know, the shirt here, there's going to be just paint, and there's not going to be a textual difference between the tank top and the bare skin here. But here you see that we have a raised shirt texture here, and it goes from the striated detailed muscles to the shirt, and it's different texture, different feel, not just a paint job. So that I really dig that. But then you go down to the pants, they're just flat, boring black. Let me get a look here. But it is photo accurate. You know, I was about to say they could have at least done a belt buckle or something. But you look at the actual original picture, we're not seeing any other difference. Just flat, boring black with the black and red NWO tank top. So as far as accuracy, yeah, a great looking action figure. Really looks like Lex Luger. You have the trademark hand gesture. So I would give the appearance an A minus. And then we go into articulation. We have the standard Mattel Elite articulation. The head is on a ball joint. You get full range of motion. The arms, they go all the way around, up and down. They're a little bit stiff out of the box, but they move. And then we have left to right horizontal movement between the bicep and the shoulder. And then we have double jointed pinless elbows. So you can get those elbows bent all the way back there. And actually touch his chest. You can actually get him to touch hands here. So we got great articulation from those double jointed pinless elbows. And then the hands, they twist all the way around and they go back and forth. And we have interchangeable hands as well. Those would be the accessories that come with it. And they pop in and out fairly easy. And still fit snugly. And the torso is on a rocker. So you get great back and forth mobility. And then we have a swivel at the hip that goes all the way around. Ball jointed legs coming out of the hip. And then we have a cut in the thigh for horizontal movement. Pinless double jointed knees that for pants. They have a lot of range of motion. Usually when you have a character that wears jeans or heavy pants, you're going to hinder the motion. But here we have double jointed pinless knees, and they go all the way back to where you can almost touch his back. So that is some great articulations for a character with a black jean, with a baggier pair of pants here. I think they did a great job splitting the difference with having that slightly bulkier look, but still having a great range of motion. And then going down, we usually have a cut on the calf for horizontal movement, either above the boots or in the middle here. But there is no calf cut. It just goes straight down to the ankle. I don't know why they went without it. There is no natural place to put a line. There is no upper boot visible where you can put a natural line. And so I understand why they didn't put the calf cut in there, because it would create an unnecessary line aesthetically. But I think as far as posing, it would be nice to have that horizontal left to right from a calf cut. And so the articulation is going to get a downgrade because of that lack of a calf cut. But then we go down to the ankle. We don't have a lot of back and forth because of the pant cuff. We have a decent side to side, but you're not going to get a lot of side to side. And we don't have a lot of left to right motion either on the feet, which you would hope for, being that we don't have that calf cut. And so the articulation, this is going to be rare for me. I usually articulation is a pretty standard thing, and there's not a lot to complain about. There's not a lot of variations in my grade, but the articulation on this is going to be getting a C. Now, I love that we get a full range of motion from the pinless double joints on the elbows and knees, but I hate that we don't have a calf cut. And with the absence of a calf cut, you would think that we would have a lot more mobility at the ankle, and the ankle is hindered by the cuff of the pant. And so really, from the upper thigh down, you're going to have really limited range of motion. And so that's why the articulation is getting a low grade from me. I think they could have really did something if they had a cap cut in there. But moving on to accessories, I believe what the appearance was A. So we're at a C there. So we're at a B so far. A good figure. Now, as far as accessories, what we have is we have hands. We have the hands that it came with the Wolfpack, NWO Wolfpack sign right here. I dig that. That is iconic and a must-have if you're going to be putting out an NWO Lex Luger. So I like that. We have two fists right here. And we have two semi-open hands that I currently have on the action figure. And yeah, this is going to be another low grade. Because we don't, it mentions that this is the attire that you won a U.S. title from Bret the Hitman Hart of all people. That's a big match and a big name. And so you're going to have, that attire from that moment. You would want the U.S. title. And again, all we have are a bunch of hands. And so, yeah, the accessories are going to get a C. And so this is a B- figure. I like it. I actually, interesting story how I got it. So I really can't grade the value because I technically got it as a replacement for a damaged figure from Mattel. I had a figure that came broken in the box. I got a refund from Walmart, but I still made the call to Mattel. They apologized profusely and offered to send me this as a replacement for the damaged figure. And so, as far as value, I guess you can give it an A. But if I would have paid the $25, $30 for this in a store, I would not be happy with it. But I am happy to put this on my legend shelf right over there along with Booker T and Sting and Mr. T and all of my legends over there. I'm going to have my first NWO figure. You would think I'd have an NWO figure in my collection, but I do not. Now I do. So that's my thoughts on the Lex Luger action figure. Let me know if you got it, what you guys think of it. What do you think of the rest of the line? Should I get the rest of them, try to complete that Big Bubba action figure? If you guys like the content, leave a comment, like, subscribe. And if you would like to contribute to the growth of the channel, you can buy me a coffee with the link on the screen right now. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, keep buying the action figures. Too sweet, and I am out.